Amidst the myriad maze of wagon paths and walkways running around and through the Yellowsaw Neck settlements, there were several places where the roads intersected, but only one true crossroad. It sat on a lonely stretch up on the northern end of the Sugar Road, just before the turnout that led to Sosoville, where the Butlers lived, and marked the division of what the older folks called Upper and Lower Yellowsaw. 100 years before, it had been a proper crossing, wide and well-traveled, where the wagon road from the old river dock landing passed over the Sugar Road, becoming the carriage lane that ran onto the grounds at Bethalia, and one time ended in a circle around the trim lawn in front of the big house, where the finest satin black buggies and horse carriages would park. It was a landscape that existed now only in the memories of the eldest living. Only a handful of people now went out to Old Landing, which had become exclusively a spot for fishing, and not especially popular even for that. The landing itself had long ago been abandoned as a river crossing, folks choosing to use the cable barge crossing further south. As for Bethalia itself, well, that was a spot the Yellowsaw folk had no use for and no need to visit for any purpose, even the Butlers and the Jacksons who lived on its boundaries. It was a bad spirit place, gloomy, eerie, with sudden shrieks and distant howls, where dark things came wandering out on moonless nights from the oak-lined lane to meet at the crossroads. Things with clawed hands and hunched over backs, black hollows where their eyes should be, singing old chants and banging on kettles and drums made of stretched human skin. The lesser crossings around could be passed with the use of minor signs and sayings and other small precautions. Getting through the crossroads at Bethalia was a more serious matter. Few Yesaws ever tarried long at the crossroads, even in the broad day, and no one dared to pass that spot without making elaborate signs in the road sand, or calling for protection from the spirits in the surrounding trees or creeks or ponds or fields. Yali could run fast and for the longest, effortless, with long, easy strides like a deer, so that few of the children on the yard at Manigo Hill could keep up with her. Even fewer could catch her. But that was for fun. This was from fear. She ran just on the verge of panic, with a sudden burst across the ground, as if a flood storm was blowing behind her, lifting her in great bounding blasts, so that it seemed as if she were fairly flying over the Sugar Road, her heart booming against the walls of her chest, her feet barely touching the sand beneath her, aiming to blow past the crossroads like a summer tornado. Leaping, straining, bursting against her last breath, she was just coming within gaffer reach of the crossroads when she saw it. A figure in the middle of the road that she had not seen before.